Your mental faculties. Not for purposes of exams. Simply passing, I've passed exams, so what? But life's duty and life's journey is what I want. Younger people, I am sorry that I've called you in haste. And many of you have not arrived. Magaresius has just called me. I said, maybe by the time you arrange to come, we will have finished. But a few of you who are here, we must talk. First of all, I also personally, as a constituency, and as an elder, and as your MP, wish you success in the oncoming examinations. Younger people, I was born on 25th of April, so my mother tells me, in 1965. But when I was registering for O-level, there was a confusion. My mother couldn't know the real year, so I registered for 1964. So I'm a year older than my real age, because I discovered it later from the Catholic Church. They call it, is it baptismal book? Yes. That's when I learned that I was born in 1965. So technically I'm 58 years. And that is not much for me, because I still want to live. And yet to you, this old man here, isn't it? Younger people, I am 5.8 feet tall or long, whatever you will choose. And I also weigh between 88 to 90. And now I'm 90 kilograms heavy, by the way. So, should any one of you try to fight me, you know, a bus of almost 1 bag of maize is coming down on you. Younger people, I went to Nakifuma Primary School in my P1, and then graduated on to P2 in Kisawai Primary School, which is now called Kaboi. At the time it was called Kisawai Protestant, and then the other one down was Kisawai Catholic. But later on, government changed to Kaboi Primary School. Some might not be of Kaboi Primary School. And I've gone there and talked to my OGs and OBs. I'm making for them a playground, and they were happy. Whenever I go there, they are happy. Then from P2, P3, I went to Buteteya Primary School, which was at the time, in the 70s, called the Bumbo Salvation Army Primary School. But it changed during Amini's time, later to Buteteya Primary School, to differentiate it from the other Bumbo, the other side. I finished my primary 7, and we are the first people at the time to come back to Uganda when the East African community failed in 1977-78. Before that, people were doing East African primary, but we are the pioneers of Uganda primary living education. So I mean examination. PLOE, we are some of the founders in 1981, actually 1981, then 1981-82. I repeated P7. It is the only class I ever repeated. At the time we were sitting for 3 subjects: English, mathematics, and civics. Civics including history, geography, some kind of political education, something like that. My brother is here, he knows, because we sat at the same time. Brother Sam Butali. The first attempt, out of 300 marks, I got 225. Yes, please. The first attempt, 225. But I was sitting with very old people. Okay, go to TTC. I said, no, I want to go to secondary. But you are too young. You go back and repeat. So it was normal to repeat because the people had repeated for 10 times. You are too young. You see that man there. You are too young. The second attempt, 1981-82, I got 245 out of 300. At the time, it was not grading like today. It was marks. You get marks. English out of 100. Mathematics out of 100. Then civics out of 100. You see that? That was the dispensation at the time. Young ladies and gentlemen, I had to go to secondary because I was very bright by the rating at the time. Quite very bright. Regarded young, but very bright. But would I manage St. Peter's or Navumali or Masaba? Those were the only secondary schools. You are Bumbo, you are Magare CS, you are Magare parents, and nothing. They were not there. They were not there. My parents who had never gone to school and who had no money, would they afford? But my uncle took me to a school in Tororo called St. Andrew's Secondary. Unfortunately, older boys made a strike. We had to come back. The MP of the time started a school in the Magalesias. Through government, there was a big fundraising. We saw it, 1981, 82. So I had to beg, and it took me almost 6 months to beg to get a vacancy in S1. But of course, they gave us the interviews. Mr. Mafumbo performed very well in S1 to go to S2. Performed very well in S2 to go to S3. In S3, I was top of the class together with Division 2. But I had no money to take me to A level because my parents were poor and I was paying for myself. Now, thereafter, my colleague who we sat with, he was sort of afraid, had a very rich uncle in Kampala. He took him to Jinja CS. I remained. I had to go now formally to S4, even when I had that certificate, which I hold up to today. I sat S4. We were 123 candidates. I was the only one who got Division 1. And my head teacher was very proud. He had never gotten Division 1 ever since he started the school. He was very proud of me. And told me, John, I'm taking you to St. Peter's where I've been debuted. I have to take you there. I said, but Mose, where I go to St. Peter's, where do I get money? He said, no, you talk, let your parent, where is your parent? I said, have you ever seen my father here? Have I not been paying myself? Have I not been doing business, bringing here cereals, beans, and maize, and when you pay me, the little profit is left for school fees? Now, where do you go? And yet I passed agriculture, chemistry, physics. I'm a natural scientist. I said, no, sir. There is no way. What about Nabomali? Maybe you tried. I said, I have no money. I have no money. And if I go there now, how will I operate my small business here, which is paying for me? I had to accept, and he had to accept. He had started A level, but only arts. I said, yes, I will leave sciences and I go for arts. Head teacher. He agreed. Division 1, he agreed. I had to take literature, economics, history, and geography. 4 principles. At the time, these days you don't sit that. But at the time you would sit for maximum 4 principles, minimum 3 principles. So I sat. But there were some repeaters who had failed the A level, S6, and they came back. Several of them, we were 54 students in our A level. And almost over half of the students were repeaters. And by the way, you are free to take as we talk. You feel free to take whatever you can, the little, please take. So we sat Younger people, I got very sick. I got very sick. Nobody would know that I would even sit for S6. But I sat. And when the results were declared at the time, no phones, nothing, you wouldn't know by your phone. No, you wouldn't. Ladies and gentlemen, early in the morning I saw my head teacher by 6 on my shop because I've been a businessman throughout, ever since I was in the primary up to today. From primary, I will tell you that story later. So, younger people, the head teacher, Mzee Mafumbo, comes. Somebody calls me, the neighbors, please, your head teacher is out here. Of course, as a boy, you panic. Why has the head teacher come to my place? But anyway, I've been saying to him in the evenings. I had a small bar, beer, whatnot, which I would smuggle from Kenya and bring, and my head teacher would come and buy from me. So, he hugs me. John, thank you for making me proud again. What is it, sir? You have passed, you are going to Makerere. I couldn't believe. Am I dreaming? Because I was a bit sleepy. Is this a dream? Because there was only one universe at the time. Not like these days, we have universe all over, even in toilets, there are universities. And you can pick degrees along the streets, everywhere you want. So, young people, I was very proud. But I also recalled and recounted myself. This poor fellow from Bumbo. At the time, Bumbo meaning the whole of Greater Bumbo, up to Rahaga, that was one sub-county. How? I was even doubting myself, maybe my head teachers, but he had showed me the checklist. Time comes to go and check for my admission in the Makerere. No transport of the time. We would move on the lorries. So I waited when my head teacher was going for relief in Jinja, but he would go to Kampala for some other ministerial issues. And I had to climb on the bag. Just, that was the normal transport, a Tata Road, a big one. To go and check. Yes, they had admitted me. And a number 88/788. That was my university entrance number. I came back and I told my parents that I'd been admitted to the university. The only one, by the 80s and the early 90s, there was only one university in Uganda, Makerere. Only. That's where I went to. And did my majoring in political science and history. And today here I am. My life's experience, the life story. You are used to a life story of dead people. Today you are seeing a life story of a living person. I will tell you that fully. But above all, younger people, I do not know the head teacher. There is no problem if these other children came to sit with these young men and women. If they are there to listen, those who are afraid to listen, the head boy and the teacher, you can organize them. Now, what is the intention? What is the purpose? What is the focus of you going to school? That must be the most important. Can you build the focus in life? Can you build what you want to be in life? This is a means. Education is a means. And that brings me down to the story, my story. My father, I think, ended paying for me because he was poor. I don't have to blame him. He's still living. It's only my mother who passed on. He's 82 years. I don't have to blame him. Because he was poor, where would he get? After all, he was a mupakas, you know mupakas. And my mother would go for working for people, odd jobs. You must talk the American type, and not even America, because North America is better. I've visited all those countries. Northern America is better. So you must talk the accent of Texas and other places. You know, if you are talking about Makerere, then instead of saying Makerere, you will say Makerere. Ah. You went to get that kind of education for you to change your vocal cords as an African, too bad for you. If you went to become a demonstrator with your demonstrative, you know, the demonstration effect by the Europeans is very heavy on you. Pole kabisa. Kwame Nkrumah, who was toppled in 1966 and died in 1972, of Ghana, one of the ideologues of this continent, one of the brightest and the best author on political treatises, at one time prophesied and said, there would come a system called neo-colonialism, new colonialism. I see it in my own times today, especially when you look at religion. All of you have been deceived that Jesus must be a white man with some kind of blonde hair flowing down. This is what younger people like you have been brought up to understand. Jesus was never white. Actually, Jesus was as black as that boy there. Kabisa. He was never white. And never had chubby cheeks. Eh? A person of that time in Israel to have fatty cheeks? No. These were shepherds all the time moving and sleeping out. The Karamajong type of life. Yeah, you can't grow fat with that. No. So these deceptions must stop. And the deception today has come through religion, so that they capture your intellect. And once your intellect is gone, then you are simply a box, a black box. The mind, all the mind is white. You must think like them. You must talk like them. You must even behave like them. And you will see little girls like her, very beautiful hair, like this one. She will cook it and also begin wagging like this, like as if you are a mad person. Huh? Like, are you not mad, really? Because it is only mad people who can make such gestures. Rote education from your P1 to S6 ended now. What you are going for is some kind of training. Some kind of trade. Maybe you are going to train as a doctor, maybe as what, anything like that. You will not have any other education again. What we call rote education. Rote education, no. It has ended as you go tomorrow to your briefing. If you don't know English, you will never know it again. Because, first of all, the A-level is not taught. I've been teaching A-level for over 30 years, general paper, history and literature. Do I have literature students here? Some of you offer literature? Oh, good. This. Thank you for offering literature. Yeah, which makes you offer. Very good, very good. Lakini unaongea kama bukusu kama mimi. Okay. Sawa kabisa. And then paper 1. You have done it well, you have a good teacher. Don't mind. I do not have one. In A-level, I do not have one. And I passed it very well. So you don't have to mind. You are bright, you are a lawyer. You are a politician like me. You are like Museveni, you also did literature in O and A-level. I did literature in O and A-level. I'm sorry I haven't yet gone through your set books, but for paper 1 it is standard, okay? The standard, the poetry, what not like that, prose and the poetry. I'm sure you are reading them very well. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I told you what you are going through up to 3 years after tomorrow, 3 years after tomorrow, is a means. Don't treat it as an end. It is what? A means. It is assisting you. It is a vehicle taking you to Mbale, to Kampala, to Nairobi. It is a means. What you are going to do in Nairobi is awaiting you. Treat education like that. And once you are set on something, do it properly. Do it properly. Never mess up. Put all your physical energy, your intellect, and all your strength into it. Because you are sitting for your S6. You must have passed P7 and S4. So, pass this one as well.